I'm Christy. I'm the Crosshatch Quilter. I'm back today for Flosstube episode number 8, and today is October 1st. I am so excited for this month. It is my favorite time of the year, and definitely autumn stitching is hands down my very favorite. So I'm excited to share with you what I've been working on and my plans for October. And I have some previous finishes, some whips, a quilt finish, some new starts, happy mail, and haul to share with you today. So let's get started. I have some fun happy mail and haul to share with you. The first one is I got a darling package in the mail from Shepherd's Bush that somebody sent, and I don't 100% know. I've tried to call them and find out who sent it to me. The gift certificate was wrapped in this darling wrapping paper with the ribbon and the wool flower and button, but somebody sent me a gift certificate for my birthday to Shepherd's Bush. Thank you so much. The gift certificate is signed, but I cannot read the name. I've called Shepherd's Bush to try and find out so I can properly thank the person. But if you watch my videos, thank you so much. That just totally made my day, and it was wrapped so darling. So that was so much fun and so thoughtful of somebody to send to me. So thank you so much. My next piece of happy mail came from Celeste. Celeste Creates, and she stitched this for me for my birthday, and she put it in a vintage jello mold. It was finished so darling. I just love that, and it looks great in my sewing room. I keep it over here in my hutch. And then she sent me one of her tomatoes to add to my tomato collection. I just love it so much. Thank you so much, Celeste. She knows how much I love it. I was tickled. I as soon as it came in the mail, I picked up my phone and I FaceTimed her so that I could open it with her, and it was so much fun to talk to her and to open that. My next is some haul. I bought a needle minder. It is by Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet, and I'm telling you, these needle minders are so strong. They're big enough to hold your scissors and your needles, and hers are by far my favorite needle minders. They're just such good quality. And then from Fat Quarter Shop, I got another needle minder. This one is Prim Star by Lori Holt of Be in My Bonnet. So I'm excited to use that. And then Fat Quarter Shop just came out with these floss bitties. And oh my heck, I was so excited when when Kimberly showed these on their Flosstube. I love thread drops, and these ones are made out of plastic. So sometimes if you get super vigorous with your thread when you're pulling it off of a cardboard thread drop, it will rip it. But these are made out of plastic, and so they're going to be more durable. And they're so cute. They have different designs on them. This one has a needle. She's shown them in her video, but there's ones with a needle. There's, I think, 4 of each kind, 5 of each kind. There's some scissors. There's a thimble. And some floss. They're super cute. I'm super excited to use them. And they have some Halloween ones too that are adorable. And then I got a Bonnie and Camille project bag. It's to hold, it's called Quilt Bee, and I'm going to use it to hold all my project bags, because you know, we don't just have one project going on at a time, we have several, right? So that is super cute. I just love that. It's made out of canvas, so it's very durable. It's going to be hefty to hold all that. And my next 2 pieces of haul, I ordered Autumn Dream from Hollis Hands Creates. I had seen Amanda May from Ardith Designs. If that is incorrect, I will put her information below. But she stitched this and showed her finish on her Flosstube, and I immediately pushed pause and went and ordered this. I love it so much. And Christine with Hollis Hands Crate is actually stitching it as well. I ordered that from her Etsy shop, and I'm going to definitely start this fall. I love this so much. My next piece is Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. And I don't know when I'm going to start this, but I wanted to get the chart. I got that from Hollis Hands as well. And I've been kitting it up with just some mostly Victorian motto threads that I just had in my stash. So I'm not 100% done kitting it up yet, but those are the colors that I've picked so far. So that's my haul. I'll be back with some... I have quite a few previous finishes to share with you today to set the mood for fall stitching. Like I said, it's my very favorite time of year to stitch, and so I have quite a few finishes. Some of them I know the names and the designer, some of them I don't. If anyone knows the names, if you would put them down below so the other people that are looking for them. Some of them are like 20 years finished, so I'm sorry I don't know the name of them. My first one is by Lizzie Kate. I know that for sure, but I don't know the name of the chart. And I've had this done for probably about 15 to 17 years. At the time you could find a frame to order to go with the piece, so that's what I did. And I just love this. My next finish is Autumn by Shepherd's Bush, and this one has been done for about 20 years as well. At that time you could find matching frames to order for each piece, and so I have one for winter, spring, summer, and autumn, and it's so fun to switch these out each season. So that's Autumn by Shepherd's Bush. And then this next one, I don't know the designer or the name of the chart, but it is one of my very favorite Halloween finishes. It's simple. It was a quick stitch. It's been done for at least, I'd say, about 15 years. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the chart, but it's just a cute haunted house. Not scary, but cute. And then my last framed finish, ooh, it has dust on it, is Midnight Watch by Blackbird Designs. And this is probably my very favorite framed Halloween piece that I have so far. It's just classic. There's a quilt that matches this that I would really like to make soon. I have the pattern, and it's by Blackbird Designs, so hopefully one day I'll have the matching quilt and a cross stitch together. And then a few that I do not have framed yet, but I thought that I'd share them with you. I got this one done last year, and this is Jack's House by Stacey Nash. And I think I'm going to get this framed. I get all my pieces framed in Salt Lake, and I just haven't traveled to Salt Lake recently since COVID. So hopefully by next fall, I'll get all these pieces that I'm about to show you framed. But I was going to turn this into a pillow, but on my dream Halloween wall, I think it would look great to have a few smalls and some bigs, and I have quite a few big Halloween charts that I'm working on right now, so we better mix it up with a few smalls. And then this next one is, oh, I'm gonna forget the name of it. It is by Prairie Schooler, and you guys are all yelling at me. I will put it down below. When Witches Go Riding and Black Cats Are Seen. I don't know the name of it. When Witches Go Riding is probably the name of it, by Prairie Schooler. And I love that. So I really want to get these framed so that I can have them all up on my wall. And then this one I got done a few months ago. I've shown it to you, but I thought I'd show it to you again. And this is Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. I stitched this on 32 count. French Vanilla by R&R Fabrics, R&R Reproductions with the called for threads. So those are my previous finishes. Now let's get on to whips. What you have is a new start, and this is for Sampler September though. And this is the Pink House Sampler. And this is by Plum Street Samplers. My friend Celeste just recently bought this pattern, and we started talking about, oh, when should we start it? I've had this kitted for a few years, and we couldn't decide. Originally we wanted to have a Mother's Day start, but then one of my sweet friends on Instagram, her Instagram name is Indiana Barb. Her mom passed away just recently, and she wanted to start this piece for her mom and have it done by Mother's Day. Well, I thought that would be, Celeste and I thought that was a great idea to stitch along with her and to give her some support, so that we are all stitching this for our moms. So right where it has the name here, Paulette has given us the alphabet so that you can change it to whoever you want there in remembrance. And here is my start on that. I'm stitching this on 36 count Old Town blend with all the called for threads, and a few other people are going to join us on this SAL, which I'm so excited about. If you would like to stitch along with us, the hashtag that we're going to use is love, LUV, for mom 2020. And the only change, and this is actually Celeste's idea and I love it, is it says right here, the loss of a father is much, the loss of a mother is more, the loss of Christ is such, no other can restore. Instead of a loss of a father, we're going to put a loss of a friend, just because it's still, I don't know how to explain it. It just, I didn't want to offend anybody by having that, you know, a loss of a mother is more than a father. So that is the only change that I'm going to make to the pattern. And then of course I'm going to put my mom's name in the, where there's the name. I love the little sheep down here and the girl. Oh, it's just the girl shepherd. I don't have a whole lot of progress to show you on samplers. Last video we talked about Sampler September, and I showed you a few of the samplers that I intended to work on. I did work a little bit on them, but not enough progress to really show you. I just got so excited about the Great Pumpkin SAL after talking about that, and autumn leaves changing and decorating the house, and it just, the synergy of everyone coming together for the Freedom Shield Foundation fundraiser that Cynthia Brew is hosting, that I just could not get fall stitching out of my mind. And so I worked on samplers for a few days, and then I just really got into full-on fall stitching. And I plan on using the hashtag The Great Pumpkin SAL starting today with Cynthia Brew and Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and all of you to raise money for the Freedom Shield Foundation. And if you want to donate, each $5 increment puts your name into a raffle, and there is 20 to 30 different prizes that are being given by different Flosstubers and great Instagram makers. And so it's just been such a great charity and such a fun thing to be a part of. So I will put all that information below, but if you'd like to participate, please do, and then use the Great Pumpkin hashtag to post any cute pumpkin that you're making, sewing, cross stitch, wool, any type of craft that you want that has a pumpkin. That way we can just see each other's progress and root each other on. I'm also going to be following and participating in the hashtags for Fat Quarter Shop, which is the Fat Quarter Shop Stitchtober. It's FQS October stitching. Stitchtober. And so it's hashtag FQS Stitchtober. And then also Michelle with Cozy Egg and Emily C do the hashtag Dark October stitching. And I'm going to participate in all 3 hashtags. So I'm so excited for October. It is the best time of the year. And so let me show you what I've been doing, because I've been busy. And like I said, I don't have a lot of sampler progress to show you. So I'll just show you next time. I kind of just went full on fall stitching after all the synergy of everything. So my first whip is Autumn Ahakran Hollow. And I'm stitching this on 36 count straw by Weeks Dye Works with an over-dyed conversion by Shepherd's Bush. And here's my progress so far. I need to finish this pumpkin up here, and then there's some corn and crows and another pumpkin on the other side. But I started on the next block, which is this house. Love this so much. I love this over-dyed conversion. It's one that I want to keep out all year and use as my first stitch of the day, whether it's the morning or evening. Just work on this every day for 30 minutes before I move on to my next project. I kind of have a few of those projects going. Consider the Lilies is also another one, but I'll rotate them as I feel so that I don't get bored. But I definitely would like to get a block a month done so that I can see some progress and actually get that finished sometime in the next couple years, because it's going to be a big project. And then my next project that I worked on, and these aren't in order, they're just what I've been working on, is Pumpkin Farm by Blackbird Designs. This is part of the Anniversaries of the Heart series that Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts is doing. And so here's January, February, the bonus block in March, and then I skip down here to the Farmhouse, and then this is what I've been working on the last few days, is Pumpkin Farm. So I've got the pumpkin filled in, and I can't wait to get to that orange house. It is going to be so fun. I'm stitching this on 36 count Old Town blends with mostly all the called for threads. I love that project, and after I picked it up and started working on it again, I missed it. I'm so glad I'm stitching on it again. Sorry for the squeaky chair. Okay, and then this one I talked about last time that I wanted to start this on October 1st to kick off the Great Pumpkin Sale, but I couldn't wait. And I was up camping with my friend Lori, and I started it up there. So I'm stitching this on the called for linen, which is, I believe, Winter Brew. Let's see. Yeah, 36 count Winter Brew with all the called for threads. And I just have a little pumpkin head right now. So cute. This is one I want to get done this in the Stitchtober stitching. I want it done and finished into a pillow like that. And then I was up camping with my good friend Lori, and when we were camping in July together, she had started this, and so I brought mine along and I started it just while we were up camping. And this is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs, and quite a few of you have seen this on her first Flosstube video and are joining in on the fun. That looks crooked, but it isn't. It just is the way I've got it folded. I'm stitching this on 36 count Ren with all the called for threads. And I got the house done and some of the border. I love this so much. That house is like 3 or 4 different blues, and it's just, you wouldn't necessarily know by looking at it. It's just wonderful. So I'm so excited. And Lori and I are going to put our initials right here, L and K. So it was so fun to start this with her, and it'll just have special meaning, especially this year, and that we stitched it together. So that's Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. And then I started another one. Like I said, I've just kind of treated this as my mania. It doesn't bother me to have a lot of whips that aren't finished, that are just rotated, especially if they're seasonal. I don't like to stitch outside of the season. So like right now, I'm not in the mood to stitch Christmas. I just like my Christmas stitching. I'll show you here in about a month and a half or so. I haven't touched it since last December, but it doesn't bother me having it tucked away, and I just, when I get to it, I'll get to it, and when it gets finished, it will get finished. I just enjoy stitching in the season. It adds to the ambiance, right? But the next one that I started is the Good Stitching Witch Pin Keep, and I love these spools and her little cat and her strawberry. I think it'll look really cute here in this 3-tiered tray next to my spool quilt. So I'm stitching this on 36 count Edinburgh linen with the called for threads. And there's my start on the Good Witch. She's so cute. She's got some very pale skin that I wasn't sure was going to show up on that linen, but it does. I think it'll be okay. She looks like a ghost. And then my next project that I started while I was up camping, let me grab the project bag. I saw this first, the first time that I knew that I wanted to stitch it, and I ordered this last fall when Michelle with Farm Girl was stitching it. And this is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed by Brenda Gervais. And I bought it last year, but I didn't start it. And then I just started it the other day, up camping. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Wren with all the called for threads. The variegation in this nutmeg, isn't that gorgeous? I just love orange houses. So I'm excited and this is another one. I want to get this one done, Feast of Friendship done. That's a goal for this month or November, but those are on the finished list. But every time I tell you I want to do something or it's my plans, then I see a squirrel and change them. So just take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'll get it done when I get it done. And then the next thing that's on my lineup for things that I want to stitch in Stitchtober is I want to stitch the Stockings by Blackbird Designs. I don't think I'll get them finished, but I want to get them started. And my friend Yvette is stitching these along with me, and I think she's got them all done. So that, I want to have them all done and up on a tree next year. I showed you this last time that I wanted to start it, and I have a little tiny start on it. And that is Autumn Alphabet by the Scarlet House. Oh, not very much of a start. I'd like to get all of these finished, and I will. I just would like to get them done in October, but we'll see. Another one in my lineup is Ladies Prim Society First Winds of Autumn by Blackbird Designs. I can't decide if I want to finish this into a strawberry or a drum. It is a big, big strawberry. But I love that so much. I love how the crow is so much bigger than the house. And a sweet friend let me borrow that chart, so I need to get that finished and sent back. And then another thing on my lineup that I'm so excited about is Pumpkins for Sale. This one is by Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet, and it's So Emma. And I am going to stitch it on 32 count Old Town Blend by R&R. And I've just pulled a whole bunch of threads. I don't have them on a floss ring yet, but I had quite a few of the called for Weeks Dye Works, and then what I didn't have, I just am substituting. But I'm super excited to start this one. It's so cute. And another one that I would like to start is from the Stitch Quarterly from Fat Quarter Shop. Comes in this darling bag. And it is on 10 count. Ada by Lori Holt is vintage cloth. And I think that it looks super cute on that. It looks like an old needle point. I think it just looks so vintage. So that's what I'm going to stitch it on. And here is the pattern. So I'd really like to start that and get it finished. I think it would be a quick stitch. Another one on my lineup is Stitch Cards by Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet. And I love that gingham October 31st. But I love all of them. I think I'm going to finish them as little pillows or as an ornament so that I can put them on a tree along with the Blackbird Designs stockings. And the start that I'm going to start today that I'm so excited about is, this is a restart. This is A Ghoul-Tide Welcome by Plum Street Samplers. And I have this started with DMC, and it's one that is on 36 count with one strand, and the black, just there's so much see-through, and I just wasn't happy with the coverage. So I'm going to restart this today with the NPI silks, the called for. I have quite a few more charts I wanted to show you that I don't necessarily know if I'll get to this fall, but my stash of autumn stitching and Halloween stitching is by far my biggest stash. I just love this time of year, so I just thought that I'd show you a few more that you might want to get or stitch. I really love Toil and Trouble by Plum Street Samplers. It's an older chart, but I don't think that it's out of print. I've seen it around. Love the variegation in those trees. So fun. Another one I'd love to get to is Bounty Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. And this one is not Halloween, it's just fall. Fall in its perfection. I love that so much. And another fall one is Turkey Farm Hollow. I have a lot of Stacey Nash's seasonal pieces, like Christmas at Hollyberry Farm, summer. I'll show you Halloween here in a minute. But there's a spring one that has bunnies, and then there's this turkey one, and I love them all. I have them all in my stash. I just love her prim style, and those colors are perfect. I think once I do stitch the fall pieces, I would like to leave them up all year, just like in the haul, because they're not, they just are the colors of my home that I decorate with all year anyway. So I might just keep them up. And then I've started this, but I can't decide what I'm doing with this piece yet. And that is Halloween at Hollyberry Farm. I started it, I believe, last year. It was a birthday start. And I started it on 32 count Murphy by Picture This Plus. And I did it with one strand. Now, Picture This Plus linen is a tighter weave than other linens, and so sometimes, like if it's a 32, it's not necessarily a 32, it might be a 34 or 5 by the time you count it out. So here's my start on it, and I like it, especially the black looks okay, but I think that white looks very, I don't know, prim. And so I can't decide if I want to continue on this or start it over on a 36 count Murky. The called for is 36 count, or yeah, 36 count 18th century Rook by R&R. And it's like a brown. This is a piece that sometimes you get and there's a lot of modeling in it, and other times there isn't. This piece does not have a lot of modeling in it. So I can't decide. So I probably won't do much on it this year because I don't know. I would like to have a little bit more coverage on that white. On the camera, it looks pretty good. And I do love it on the Murky. So I'm just thinking about it. And I'll let you know when I decide. Okay, another one that I would love to get to, and I actually just got this from Kitten Stitcher in the mail. I forgot to show it on my stash. Is the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. And I think that it calls for DMC. I think I'll do a lot of it in overdyes. And there's the linen that I chose for it. I can't remember the name of this. It's a mystery linen that was in my stash. I know that I got it from Kitten Stitcher and it's an X-Jude design, but I don't know the name of it. I've had this started for a while and I need to get back to it. It's Pumpkin Farm by Brenda Gervais. And here's my start. I know why I set this down and didn't get back to it. It's because it's on 28 count Lugana with 2 strands, and I don't always love stitching with 2 strands, but this is a small project and I should get back to it and just finish it instead of starting it over. I really love him. He's so cute. This is just DMC. And that is on Doubloon of Picture This Plus Lugana. This one I would love to get stitched. Bobbing for Pumpkins by Brenda Gervais. So many charts, so little time. And this one is a Lingering Whip. Same story, 28 count linen. So I just haven't finished it. It's this big chart that I'm stitching, Autumn Leaves by the Prairie Schooler. I think once you fall in love with the one strand, it's hard to go back, but I'm flexible and I'm going to stitch on that 10 count Ada, so I just need to get back to this and finish it. That's my progress. So that is all of my Stitchtober and Great Pumpkin Sal plans. I think that most of this won't probably get done, but it'll just be fun stitching it and loving the process. I was looking at all my finishes that I did last year, and I kind of felt guilty for a little bit because I don't have nearly as many finishes as I did last year. But 2020 has just made me be even more of a squirrel than I already naturally am. And we're just going to give ourselves grace this year and enjoy the process. And that's what it's all about anyway, right? So next, I have some quilts that I wanted to show you, and a quilt finish and some previous finishes and a start. I'll be back. I love to sew for the holidays in the season. So right now I'm just totally hepped up about sewing for fall. I have a couple projects that I want to start that I'm going to share with you so that you can watch my progress. A previous finish and a new finish. The previous finish is from the book Farm Girl Vintage by Lori Holt of Be in My Bonnet. And I made the Sewing Seeds tabletop setting. And you can pick any block out of the book and do a 12-inch setting and a 6-inch setting and make it into a tabletopper. So here's mine, and I did pumpkins. patchwork pumpkins. I just love this so much. I love the mixture of the white, black, and orange pumpkins. And I quilted it myself. All these little squares and these little small pumpkins. There's like 31.5-inch squares in each pumpkin. It took me a little bit to make this, but it's one of my very, very favorites. It's so fun to get it out. I usually just set it on a table with like a candle and some fall decor on it. And then my finish is from the Quilter's Cottage, which was a sew along with Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet and the Fat Quarter Shop. The pattern is by Lori and it's for this cover quilt. And I have a finish. I will also insert a picture right here. Haley and I went for a drive and we wanted to take pictures of a couple quilts up in the mountains for fall, and we have a bridge that is over a dried up riverbed. And so we went for a drive and took pictures and went on a little hike while we were up there. There were no bears in the hike, which is good, right? We were a little bit nervous, to be honest. But here is my finish for Quilter's Cottage. The top part. It's a big quilt. I'm going to put this on my bed in my camp trailer so that it's home away from home. And then there's the fence. And then the quilt blocks. I'm going to move this chair. The quilt blocks that are hanging out in the front yard, welcoming friends and family to come and visit. I love, love, love this quilt so much. I had so much fun sewing along with all of you in the sew along with Fat Quarter Shop and Lori. And this is now going to get sent to the quilters so that I can get it on my bed in my camp trailer. And I had so much fun making this. And we got it done just in time, so now I can do some fall sewing. My next few projects that I want to make, the first one is Pumpkin Patch Throw by Farmhouse threads, and I have been kitting this up for the last couple months. Olivia with Pumpkin Hollow Quilts has just recently made this. When she texted me and showed me what she was going to make, I'm like, I just got this pattern, and I text her the picture of it. So I want to get this started. I just love the different colored pumpkins and it on the Irish chains. That's what it's called, Irish chain layout. Excuse me. And then I have two more quilts that I want to start. The first one is out of Quilty Fun by Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet. I have made so many quilts out of this book. It is a great book to have in your collection, and there's just so many. The front page is a sew by row quilt, which I haven't made yet, but the one that I want to work on this fall is the Town Square quilt. And I'm going to use her Autumn Love line that is all autumn fabrics. So on the houses, I'm going to change them to, or not the houses, the trees, I'm going to change them to red and yellow and orange. And then up here, I'm going to insert, it's a 6.5-inch block. I'm going to insert leaves and pumpkins from her Farm Girl Vintage book to put in the corners, the cornerstones of the quilt. So I'm excited about that. And then my next one, oh, everybody has made this except for me, it seems like. And that is Autumn Love. That's the name of the quilt, but it's also uses Autumn Love fabric line by Lori Holt of Be My Bonnet. And it is an applique and pieced quilt. And I've had it kitted and ready to go for 2+ years, and I have just never taken the plunge. It is one of my very favorite quilts. A lot of people are making it right now on Instagram. So I have got all my stuff ready to go. Here's my kit, and I'm going to throw in or add to the quilt with some wool by Lori. And she has a cool line and a warm line, a warm stacker. And I'm just going to add leaves here and there, just as I, you know, find pieces that would look great in wool. I also might make just a mini for my wall or to frame. I really have loved seeing framed wool pieces recently, so I might just make a little mini block out of the quilt and make it with wool, like one of these up here, and frame it and put it on the wall next to the quilt. I think that would be really pretty. Like, as you can tell, I don't have 100% plan yet. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just know that I'm gonna do something like that. Lori has made this block down here in wool, and it is so pretty. That just was what did it for me, was seeing hers, and it just is an absolutely gorgeous finish. So I might just make this as like a table runner. I don't know, we'll see. I'll get back to you on it. But these are my fall plans, and I love sewing in the season and stitching in the season. I hope that you all are stitching and crafting and just staying healthy and happy. I really appreciate all of your friendship, your sweet, kind comments, and for spending a little bit of time with me, seeing what I've been up to. So until next time, happy stitching, everybody. Goodbye.